You guys?
Oh my God. Sophie's a dog. She raises the level of play of everybody around her as soon as she steps foot on the floor. Hell, even on the sideline.
Just one game in, and Sophie Cunningham turned heads. She didn't just play her debut for the Fever, she made waves. Even with Caitlin Clark sidelined, Fever fans got a full show.
All right, so Sophie Cunningham really shined with Caitlin Clark out, and she is going to be an absolute steal for the Indiana Fever.
She brought everything: toughness, defense, confidence, scoring, grit, presence, and leadership. She didn't just fit in, she dominated. The crowd noticed, the team noticed, and yes, critics noticed too. And this was just the beginning. Early signs suggest she might be the fans' top pick, and every rival's biggest problem. Experts saw it coming. Now it's real. The Fever scored big with this pickup. You can tell, and because other teams are already testing her and critics are already talking.
Cheering on violence against this basketball player.
She's already bothering opponents, and the season hasn't started. Let's break down what happened on the floor, the physical play, and why Sophie could be Caitlin's key teammate. But first, if Sophie's impressed you, drop a fire emoji in the comments and hit subscribe for more Fever content.
I am really excited, and I didn't come here for the spotlight. I didn't come here to have more eyes. I came here to win.
Sophie Cunningham came in known for her toughness, long-range shooting, and fearless edge. It didn't take long for Fever fans to embrace her. One reason? Her playful joke about being Caitlin's Sabrina Carpenter to Taylor Swift.
Earlier this month that you'd be the Sabrina Carpenter to Caitlin's Taylor Swift. That was a joke, but I guess people really took that seriously.
People love it.
But what really won people over was how loyal she was to Caitlin Clark, right from the start.
I mean, you know, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way. And so just to be alongside of her and maybe relieve the pressure, being able to shoot and spread the court for her to go do her thing.
In a league where some were cold or critical about Caitlin's rise, Sophie was vocal, proud, and supportive. That loyalty counts, and this year, it'll count even more. That's why fans believe Sophie will be Caitlin's enforcer, the strong teammate she lacked last year.
Carter, her jumper is good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
Because let's face it, Caitlin took hits, rough fouls, and too many harsh welcome moments with barely any help.
Where's Caitlin Clark's teammates? I'd be pissed at my teammates if nobody came to my defense.
Sure, Caitlin toughened up out of necessity, but no top star should be left unprotected. In every major sport, your best players are shielded. Now Caitlin has Sophie, someone who will hit shots and hit back. She'll confront the nonsense and keep things in check. Indiana's turning a page, and Sophie brings the edge they needed. Wait until you see the highlights. But here's what's missing. This wasn't just about attitude. It was a smart basketball move, and that's where it gets exciting.
Do that. And I think, honestly, being here, I've already been motivated. Like, I know this is a new, fresh start. I'm not in a box anymore. Like, I can finally be free and be in an offense that I think that I can really thrive in and be around players who our mind is strictly on basketball and winning.
What people are starting to realize is that Sophie Cunningham might not just be a new Fever player, but a transformed one. Sometimes a fresh team and the right system unlock everything. Based on what Sophie said, Phoenix wasn't that fit. Their style clashed with hers. Her skills weren't used well. She wasn't able to be herself. Now, with Coach Stephanie White and a better team setup, Sophie could finally break out.
So Sophie Cunningham, there has been some footage released, and the footage is actually kind of like mind-opening or mind-expanding because she's generally a 3, right? Or actually, she's generally a 4. She was played as a power forward over on the Phoenix Mercury, and Lexi Brown on her Full Circle podcast had noted that Sophie Cunningham's natural position is a 3, and the way that Indiana Fever run their motion offense and some run and gun, she sees the Indiana Fever putting Sophie back in that 3 position, so she sees her having like more of a breakout season than she'd had at the Mercury, having to play a position that wasn't exactly natural to her.
She turned heads early in training camp, not just with scoring or intensity, but with her flexibility. That kind of utility is rare. Starting, subbing, spreading the floor, guarding different spots, or firing up teammates, Sophie showed she can handle it all.
level of toughness and tenacity that the team needed. And of course, they brought other players in who bring a little bit of that as well, the vets in Bonner and Howard. But there's a certain level of spiciness with Sophie Cunningham. But she's also the best perimeter playmaker on the team outside of Caitlin Clark.
And for a team chasing a title, having a player who adjusts and delivers anywhere, that's huge. But now let's revisit one of her comments for a moment.
When I tell you it's a good fresh breath of air, it is. And so you guys will see.
She mentioned it multiple times this offseason, that Indiana just feels like the right place. After her time in Phoenix, it's easy to see why she wanted a reset. This wasn't just about game plans or strategy, it was about team culture. And in one line, she hinted at all of that.
And be around players who our mind is strictly on basketball and winning.
Last year, rumors swirled about tension between Sophie and her former teammate Natasha Cloud. The cause? Political disagreements. Cloud didn't hide it either. She ranted on TikTok, making it clear she clashed with someone, likely Sophie.
I try to have open dialogue. I try to have hard dialogue with her. But if my life depends on it, and if that don't matter to you, you can't tell someone you love them and then vote against their life. Period.
This wasn't just a normal team spat. It seemed to shift the whole team vibe. And in basketball, locker room energy matters. The Fever stress harmony and protection. So it's easy to see why Phoenix may have felt wrong for Sophie, on and off the floor. Add the new team, the better system, and a reset. And she wasn't just brought in for depth. She's smart, tough, and adaptable, ready to fill any need. And in Game 1, we finally saw it. With Caitlin out, it was Sophie's moment, and she showed up big. She played an outstanding game, carrying the scoring load, pushing them into overtime, and helping secure the win. With Caitlin missing, someone had to take charge, and Sophie did just that. She dropped 21 points, grabbed 8 boards. Great stats. But more than that, she passed the eye test. She moved without the ball, created space, and finished plays with help from teammates. The chemistry is already building, and that's what the Fever need to go far. But it wasn't just points or rebounds that had fans excited. It was her fire, her drive, and her no-fear attitude. She sent a message. No more bullying this team. She talked trash, lifted her team, and treated each play like a finals moment. That type of passion spreads. It lights up the arena and pulls teammates closer. For a Fever squad under the spotlight, that's gold. And clearly, opponents noticed.
Like, do people not realize it? Like, if anything, people are like, and people aren't going to want to mess with Sophie Cunningham. No, everyone wants to mess with Sophie Cunningham. But people aren't going to mess with Caitlin Clark. If people go near Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham's immediately stepping in. If you mess with Sophie Cunningham, DeWanna Bonner's going to be stepping in.
Sophie became the focus, drawing not one, but 2 obvious flagrant fouls. And like always, she didn't back down.
These players like this, I think you need that level of toughness that they did not have last year, because you want the player on your team that other players hate playing against, and there's no way the teams like playing against Sophie Cunningham.
Remember, Caitlin Clark took more than her share of dirty plays last season. Elbows, shoves, hard fouls, basically a crash course in WNBA physicality. And now, in just one game, Sophie's already facing the same. But this time, there's a response. And courtside, Caitlin clearly loved it. And it wasn't just Sophie stepping up. It showed how tough the Fever are becoming as a group. When Sophie got hit hard, who jumped in? Dana Bonner, right there in her corner.
You see Bonner saying, nah, what are you doing right there? Getting right in her face. This is not something that the Fever had in the locker room last year.
But of course, it didn't just stay on the hardwood. The critics took it online. They flooded feeds, celebrating Sophie getting knocked down by a rookie like it was some big win. They weren't just reacting, they were asking for more.
We are seeing literate people, not threats of violence, but people encouraging violence against a player. And that's not on. That's not on for nothing. There are people literally out there encouraging violence against Sophie Cunningham. And these are the people that want to say another fan base is the worst fan base in the WNBA, and they're encouraging literal violence against players.
But here's the truth. The Fever are the league's biggest draw. They're already circled on every team's calendar. Imagine moving games to arenas 2 to 4 times bigger, just to handle the fans. Then, the Fever added this spark.
2 more for Boston.
Now you know. We're not here for the moment. We're here for the takeover.
The minute you announce you're ready to run the league, every opponent takes it personally. They want to check the Fever, to send a message. That includes targeting Sophie. That's why her job matters. She'll take the hits, attract the A. Rough play and remind everyone, if you come for Caitlin, you'll pay. It's not just about defense, it's about warning shots. And based on what we've seen, she's all in. Maybe even enjoying it.
There was a stretch when you have a number of key plays and scored a lot. And the crowd really started noticing you more and responding to you. But you also reacted back to them. Do you enjoy that interaction with the crowd?
No, I really do think that's what it's all about, right? I think you want to make sure that your home court is special to you as a team, but you want to make it hard as heck for other people to come in here to Cambridge, and they don't want to play here, right? And I think with that, as an energy player, you got to get your fans involved. That's our sixth man right there, and they're loud, they're feisty, they're sassy, and it's like when you get them involved, then it's game over, right? You're in the other team's head. And so for me, especially when you have a couple runs put together, defensive stops, it takes someone just to get the fans involved, and then the other team feels that, because I've been on the other end of it and it sucked. And so now that I'm here, I can embrace it, and we can have some fun here this year.
Sophie Cunningham brought everything fans crave: passion, scoring, and hype. She's already winning hearts. And doing that in a preseason game, that says plenty. She's ready when called, and that depth, that's what great teams have. She might be the Fever's most underappreciated signing, and the wild card that helps Caitlin and company take over.
She's definitely an X factor.
Still here? Drop a basketball emoji in the comments to say what's up. Thanks for watching.